Okay, hey, how y'all doing? This is oxtail soup. This is good for like diabetics. You know, I know Paula Deen and you know, Oprah Winfrey's people, you know, on her own channel and stuff like that. She got like multiple cook shows and stuff like that she know people. And Dr. Oz and what's his name? Phil? Dr. Phil? Okay, Dr. Phil. So this is oxtail soup, and it's good. I had to learn how to. My mother and my father was diabetics. My mother and my father was diabetics, so we had to learn how to not put a lot of salt and sugars in foods. Okay, my sister Sharon was mainly the main cook of one of her children in the household, so she had to learn how to not to over season the food. So this is another thing. I have, hey, stop. I have diabetics in the family.
I'm sorry.
I have yeah, okay. I have diabetics in the family. So now when I cook, I have to make sure that they can enjoy the food also and not get sick. You know, because my nephew Corey, he's a diabetic. My nephew Eddie is a diabetic. My sister Mary is a diabetic. My sister Thelma is a diabetic. And my sister Darlene is a diabetic. I have a nephew named Kareem. He was born a diabetic. He was born from a diabetic mother. So there's a lot of things that people have to, you know, food is their enemy when it comes to raising their sugar up, and they have to stick themselves with insulin and stuff like that. So I like using herbs in my food, you know, and herbs kind of help the circulatory, the blood flow in their blood. And like if I'm doing desserts, cinnamon is good to regulate their blood. So if you're doing desserts for diabetics, I had a lady that worked with me, and she showed us how to. Well, she showed me how to make desserts for diabetics. You know, so this is it doesn't have a lot of salt. I'm not too much. I like my chips and stuff, but I'm not really a salt eater. You know, but a lot of people, you need salt. You know, for your sweat glands. You know, that's why a lot of people sweat a lot, because they don't eat salt. Okay, so you need salt in your system. Okay, to control your sweat glands. Okay, salt is good for the body to control your sweat glands. Okay, it's good to sweat, but not pouring out the sweat. Okay, so I'm tasting it. Tastes good. So anytime Paula Deen wants some of my recipes, she's more than welcome. Because I watch her show, Paula Deen show. I watch her show. She told the story about how she used to, you know, she used to be hungry and stuff like that. But I wrote a story about how me and my family, some days that we didn't have, we used to wait. My father worked for the lunch program in the summertime. And on days that we didn't have any food, me and my nieces and nephews, and my mother, you know, she was an at-home mom. And some days we couldn't afford food. You know what I'm saying? We had to wait. So my dad, he worked for the lunch program, so we was happy for my dad to bring home those extra lunch boxes. You know what I'm saying? They had like bologna sandwiches, bologna and cheese, turkey and cheese. And they had like the little subs, and they had like a fruit and some juice. And like in the morning time, they had juices in it. And in the afternoon, they had milks. So you had chocolate milk and white milk. So we was blessed to enjoy those lunches. Because some of them had like, even the hot dinners, you know, when he had to deliver the hot dinners, sometimes his boss would let him take home. So my boss used to let me take home some food too. If I say I ain't got no food, and I say, you know, can I take home a couple of sandwiches that you're going to throw out and stuff, you know, because I be on the grill. I was on the grill. And she would say yes. She would say yes. She count them first, and then she say, "Yeah, we gonna, you know." So all they do is just count them first, and anybody who's hungry, you know what I'm saying, they gonna throw them out anyway. They fresh burgers, you know. So then she let me bring some home for a couple of people, senior citizens that was hungry, didn't have no food and stuff. So I brought some home for a senior citizen that didn't have no food. It was a husband and wife, you know. So yeah. So I understand how people go hungry. It was many a time. Stop! Elijah. See, he do devilish things. Come here. Amy, get up. Elijah, you gotta realize she's a girl, okay? So, anytime they want to, you know, anytime that they want to use my recipes for their restaurants and stuff like that, they're more than welcome. You know what I'm saying? Martha Stewart, she used to do it all the time. People are sending their recipes and have Martha Stewart do the recipe. You know what I'm saying? I think Snoop Dogg had, I think he had a beer that he made. And I think he advertised it on Martha Stewart's show. You know, so sometimes these shows can advertise your stuff. Your stuff. So, you know, that's why I said they more than welcome to get in touch with me if they feel though that, you know what I'm saying, my marketing skills is good. I'm Lisa, Sky During Lyrics Production. And I did write Oprah staff before. So they never got back in touch with me, but I did. But I did write. But my brother James, he was telling me his cousins work for my brother showed me some guy named Anthony, and then he showed me he told me one of his girl cousins worked for Oprah Winfrey, you know. So played in Color Purple. So I said it might be the problem. But I might be having a problem that way. The Millers again. Stealing. You know, I don't put people's names out there, but I mean, you gotta look at it right. You gotta look at it for what it is. Oh, these are good. And it's good for people who have diabetes, heart disease. It doesn't have a lot of salt. It's fresh vegetables. You know. Yeah, we've been having a problem with family warring against each other. You know what I'm saying? Competition amongst family. That's what Cece said with dealing with her family, like her relative. You know, they in competition with each other all the time. And some of the Millers, they singers with Grant Allen in them. You know, all the churches around here in Michigan. You know, so I think her name is Vanessa Bell Armstrong. Amy, get out of there!
Emma, get out.
You gotta close that door, Elijah.
Okay.
So you got Ranch Island. I think they got backup singers of the backup singers. It's the Millers.
What happened in that toilet?
Oh, that's food. I just flush it. I flushed some food. I dumped out a bowl. Did you flush the toilet, baby?
I didn't have to go pee.
Okay, can you flush the toilet? You didn't have to go pee. What did you just do? You just pissed, right? You just used the bathroom.
I just checked.
Did you wash your hands?
I checked on this because I have like. It's not even
Oh, you didn't have to use the bathroom? You wasn't using the bathroom?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Did you flush the toilet? Can you flush the toilet? Okay, thank you. Oh, just flush it. Ain't nothing but food in the toilet. Just like when you go poop, it's food in the toilet.
Stop opening your
Minced
door.
food coming out of your bowel.
No.
So I probably have to, I don't know if Ranch Island them is diabetics, but I'm pretty sure they probably watching somewhere from a distance too. The Millers.
No sissy room in the house. No sissy room in the house.
But they say Oprah knows our cousin, the Sharps, the Mitchells. Then I met my granddaughter's father's grandmother date a Miller. So you can just imagine the Miller's been our bad luck for years. You want milk?
Yeah. Milk.
Miller's been our bad luck for years. They ain't been no good luck. They been bad luck. They put my mother in a deep depression. My mother used to tell her kids, I wanted y'all. I didn't abandon y'all. And to see your mother cry. I'm not blaming the family. I'm just saying. It was between two parents that couldn't, the woman didn't want to be with the man, and the man punished the woman for not wanting to be with him. By taking her kids.
My name is Slasher. Welcome back to the master. What you want to do? You want to see some vlogs? Alright.
And I don't see how.
That crime video about Emery and.
I don't see how a Lewis, a woman can bear another woman's children. When you see another woman's child crying, it's what I don't understand about these women. When you see another woman's child crying to ask them to go home with their mama, and you don't take them home to their mama, you just as guilty as the father. That's why these women have bad luck. That's why half of them is sick. That's why half of them are dying of these diseases and stuff. Here it is. Kids in turmoil. Kids want to go home to their mama. It ain't like they don't know their mother. They know their mother. And everybody living down here in the churches, in the churches, like everything is okay. People vouching for the wrong. I don't know what happened to, to get a man to take his children from their mother that is nourishing and love their children. But I didn't grow up with my sisters and brothers in the household. My sisters and brothers had to take trips to see me when I was born. That's if they father let them, you know. My sisters and them told me the irony that they had. You know, my sister Mary. That's why I said she don't get on my nerves too much. I don't mind like going do things for Mary because she went through a hard time. She wanted to see her mother. She wanted to be with her mother, and that throws you into depression. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the kids grew up in depression. You know, wondering when they father gonna take them back to their mother. You know what I'm saying? And my mother, she went into a deep depression because she couldn't have her kids, you know? And what man does that? What man does that but a man from hell? A man from hell. Just hell, you know what I'm saying? They must be the worst people on the face of this planet. You know what I'm saying? Must be the worst people on the face of this planet. Anytime people plot to take your children just because you don't want to be around them, you don't want to do nothing for them or whatever, that's people that's a face of, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said the Lewises, all of them walk around and proudly, you know. How can you as a woman, this is my whole thing is, how can you as a woman have someone else's children in the care of a man who won't bring, if the kids is sitting there asking to go back to their mama, I would have called the police. I would have called Child Protective Services or whatever to get those kids back to their mama, you know. But no one did anything. My sister would have been a better person. She probably would have been a better person if she probably would have been raised with her mama. Both of my sisters probably would have been a better person in the world if they would have been raised around their mama. They wasn't like their mama mistreated them. Their mama dressed them good. Their mama was there. You know, they lived with my granddaddy, you know, in his home. You know, my brother, he was raised real good and nice. My granddaddy dressed him. So my mother had help from her father and her stepmother. You know what I'm saying? So my mother had help with her children. Wasn't like she was on her own and stuff like that. So she dressed her kids very good, you know. And it wasn't nothing wrong with those kids. But for some reason, because my mother didn't want to live down here in Michigan, you know, my mother didn't want to live down here in Michigan, and she paid the price for it, losing her kids. And that's the truth. And all she did was love. And love sent her to a deep depression. Then she found my father, and my father married her before he went back to the service. And they got married on Valentine's Day. That's why I celebrate Valentine's Day, you know, for the reunion of my mother and my father. Because if it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for my mother, you know, being married, I probably wouldn't have been born, you know. So, Emmy, stop. What are you doing? So I know how it feels for mothers to lose their children with these fathers that is so terrible. So terrible, trying to get back at the mothers because they don't want to be with them. My daughter's father took me through the same thing. And I had to turn to God not to even try to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like killing you on the inside. You know, it's killing your every being, you know, to lose your children. And you know you ain't did nothing to the man. And I had to turn to God even more. I had to fast. I had to fall on my face. I had to do a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, just to keep from killing him. Just to keep from hiring somebody to kill him. You understand what I'm saying? So I had the money. I made the money. You can check my work records out. I had the money. I had the money to hire somebody to kill him. But I said, you know what? It wouldn't do me no good. You know, it wouldn't do me no good. So I said, I'm not going to lose my place with God. You know what I'm saying? I told God I ain't going to put nothing before you. And I said, I'm going to let you work everything out. You know what I'm saying? What woman does that? What woman keeps another child's, another woman's child away from them? You know what I'm saying? And if the shoe was on the other foot and somebody kidnapped their children, you know, put somebody in their mother's shoes, kidnap their children, keep their children for a long time, let their children grow up without their parents, you know what I'm saying, without their mother. You know what I'm saying? What woman does that? I don't care what a man do. If you're not gonna kidnap your child just because you don't like your baby's mama. Ain't no man gonna be up in my house. Stop, Elijah. Ain't no man gonna be up in my house living with his child, and the child is stop. The child is wanting her mother and wondering when she coming home to her mother. You know what I'm saying? Now, when my brother had custody of my daughter and me, you know, he took care of my daughter. But now he don't have custody anymore. He haven't had custody since my daughter was 8 years old. But everybody's trying to get custody of my daughter because they know the income. You know what I'm saying? So it happened to them. And like I told my brother, he used to tell me, he said if it wasn't for Dorothy, you know what I'm saying, I probably would have got a lot of whoopings. Because his father used to say cruel things to him, you know what I'm saying? And that's why he's like the way that he is, you know what I'm saying? Because of his father's words. His father really would torment him with words, you know what I'm saying? And he feels though he could torment other people, you know what I'm saying? So when the wife told me about his attitude towards his son, she said, I'm afraid that he's gonna push his sons away. You know what I'm saying? And I said, yeah, he is gonna push his sons away because he's reckless right now. You know what I'm saying? And I said, he's in the church, he's reckless. I said, and he's not pulling any punches either. He's not really caring about, all he caring about is that church. He's dedicated to that church that, you know, stopped him from being with his family. He's dedicated to that. He dedicated himself to that church. You know what I'm saying? That took him away from his family, took him from knowing his sisters and brothers. He's dedicated to that church, the same church. And I told his wife, I said, it is what it is, but he has the opportunity to walk away, but he just won't walk away. We sat there and we talked, and we had a heartfelt talk. And she said that's what she was concerned of, that he's gonna push his. Now just think about how those kids could have known their grandmother, Rebecca, but because of this situation down here in Michigan, you know what I'm saying? And you know, my oldest brother, Twain, he was down here, but he sent them back. And, you know, they was trying to, you know, my oldest sister missed her brother. You know what I'm saying? She said, I would tell Daddy I miss my brother. You know what I'm saying? So they knew their oldest brother. They knew their oldest brother, but they, you know, they couldn't reunite with him no more. So it's like separating family, you know what I'm saying? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? You got to be the most rottenest person in the world. You got to be devil sent, you know what I'm saying? Hell sent, you know? And I just feel as though that everything that my mom grew up with these people in the same neighborhood. And for a son like that happened, the way it happened, it was kind of bad, you know what I'm saying? But my mom, she forgave, you know what I'm saying? She told me, she said, I forgave everything they ever done to me. Everything that these families had done to me. She said she forgave them. And that's why she was able to focus on being a mother, being a grandmother, raising her children right. And every now and then she'd go into depression. But my mother's pain produced good futures. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I have a message to tell all of the, like, Lattimores, Millers, Copelands. My mother's pain produced a great future, you know? And that's what God gave her, you know, through her pain, through all the pain. My mother went through a lot of pain. I went through a lot of pain. You just never know who's in City Hall. You just never know who's around, you know, that's blocking your career, blocking this and blocking that. But I just want the message to be shown that through all the pain that my mother suffered, they gave us an opportunity to have a great future. The Holmes family, they gave my father victory, because my father he did good, but my father, he was a hard worker, and he, just to think with his wife,
Can I have some more strawberries, please?
you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I just try to tell people through all the pain, you know what I'm saying? I know what it feels like to be mistreated and you done nothing wrong but was born. You know what I'm saying? But my mother, her brave soul, boy, I'm telling you, I wouldn't trade her in for nothing in the world, because she was a great mother. She was a great mother. And I loved my mother. My mother fought to the end. My mother fought to the end to be a great woman of God. So, she prayed all the time. Her prayers. It was her prayers that kept us. You know what I'm saying? And we it was her prayers that kept her. She lost a son. And she didn't want to lose him, but she lost him. And that took half of my father's heart to lose his second born son. That was his second born son. And it tore him up. My father drank every day just so that he won't think about it. To see his son, to hear that his son been found in the lake at the park where we all have our family picnics and stuff. Yeah, baby. Where we have all our family picnics, that's a heart. It tore my father up. His friends would bear with him night and day. They were some good friends too. His friends would not let him be alone. That's how much my father was hurting. His friends would not let him be alone. His friends would come up every day. You all right? You all right, Becky? You all right, son? You all right, Becky? You all right? Their friends will come and check on them every day. Every day. I mean, that house stayed packed with friends of the family.
Can I have some strawberries, please?
Yes, baby. With friends of the family coming by every day checking on us when we lost our brother. That was a blow. That was a blow to the head. I'm telling you.
You got yogurt?
Yeah, I got yogurt. You want some yogurt? You want the long one or the short one? You want some strawberries and yogurt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, chocolate.
You want a yogurt too?
Yeah.
Come on. Here. So all these rappers and singers and stuff. My lyrics come from the pain what my family had to go through. My poems come from pain. My lyrics come from pain. My instrumentals come from pain. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. You know. So sometimes you just never know where pain is going to bring you. You know what I'm saying? So I just let people know, you know, I'm not afraid, you know, because I had a strong mother and she wasn't afraid. She didn't teach us to be afraid. She taught us to do good. Here.
Where's the short one?
Oh, you wanted to? Where's the same one? Here, I'll get this to the baby.
Okay.
And then you said the short one.
Baby. There was baby. But give it.
Here. Here. Here you go.
Yes.
I cut them up. So my cousin called. He was telling me. He said they found our cousin in Weequahic Park. I said no, they didn't. It was Branchburg Park. But you see how people will lie. You see how family will lie. This is why I tell people, You have to trust God when it comes to family. And family done all they can do to be family. And they have gone the wrong ways. And they have gone off the path. You have to trust God. When you with God and with Jesus Christ, stay with him. Don't go off the path to follow your family that's not doing right. Because I'm going to tell you something, it's going to end up tragic. Trials and tribulations come when you don't listen. Trials and tribulations come when you on a journey of recovering from, trauma. And when everybody is sticking together to ruin you, stick with Jesus. That's all I'm saying. Stick under the blood. Because that's the only thing that's going to help you. That's the only thing that's going to save you. And that's the only thing that's going to deliver you. If you don't have the blood of Jesus, if you don't claim in Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you ain't got nothing else but to go through what you're going to go through. And God can't do anything about it until you come under the blood of Jesus Christ and confessing that he is Lord. And all things will be added unto you after that. He said, that's when you know you're saved. But other than that, ain't nothing else going to work. Ain't nothing else going to get God's attention. So yeah. So I'm just letting Oprah Winfrey know I did write you an email. So I don't know if your staff has edited the email, misspelled the email. I don't know. But somewhere along the line in your company, I did emailed you and asked you to help me help the young people. Because it's never too late with them. I don't know nothing about the grown-ups, but I know the young. If God has given me a ministry of the young, I have to do what he say do. And if he said the older must not anger the young. So that's a word for advice when these elderlies out here is mistreating the young. And when you're mistreating the young and stopping the young from living, trust me, God got a place for you, So rather you in these social service offices, rather you in these social security offices, rather you in whatever, God got a place for you. He got a place for you. He said you will weep condemnation if you run up against the spirit, if you blaspheme against the spirit. Rather you're a producer, rather you a record producer, rather you a television producer, rather you whatever, YouTuber or Facebooker or Twitter or Tyler Perry staff, Oprah Winfrey staff, David Manning staff, G.D. Jakes staff. See, all of them got entertainment companies. So you got CW staff. Rather you all these staffs, entertainment companies, trust me, when you're stopping the work of what God is doing and you sitting there and you telling people that you ain't doing nothing and you trying to blaspheme people on the radio, Kirk Franklin on the radio, you trying Donnie McClurkin. Okay, if you trying to blaspheme people, I was trying to try out for Sunday Best to be a judge of Sunday Best, but no one emailed me back. So just to let you know, I did apply for certain TV shows to be to be a judge on one of the TV shows, but no one called me back. I am Sky Dream Lyrics Production, and you know what I'm saying. So even a radio talk show host, I even tried, but no one called me back. No one. I left my number, I left my email, I told them who I was, and no one called me back. I even left BMI, because sometimes BMI have like work for you. They have like different offices and stuff, and they can put you in a different location. But I told them I was a commercial writing LLC corporation. So what I do is I produce libraries of commercials, and if they like it, then I can send them the commercial and they can produce the commercials themselves. And it's just like all they got to do is just film the commercial. They don't have to do the writing or anything. They just need to find the actor or the actress to do the commercial. Rather it's a sneaker commercial, rather it's a Coke commercial, like Kohl's, JCPenney's, Macy's, all that. Because I told them about Macy's. I said we used to shop at Macy's. So I guess Miss Diane Shipman, she's the promoter of Macy's. But like I said, I do the commercials. You know what I'm saying? I just write the commercials. So I don't produce them or anything. I just, you know, send them to the company, and if they like it, they pay me, and if they don't like it, then send it back. You know, sometimes they'll tweak it and then keep it. They'll keep it and tweak it and won't pay you. You know, but God got a place for you too. Marketing place. So yeah, okay. But I stopped fighting a long time ago, because that fighting get you upset and end you up in the hospital with high blood pressure, how you say, delirium disorder, and all the whole 9 yards. So if God is for me and these companies feel as though they can jip me out of my money, then hey, that's what they thinking, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna get paid, and I'm still gonna, you got to pay back double, like TD Jake said, you know what I'm saying? So all the triumph and heartache that you caused me, got to pay back double. You know, so,
Lisa,
yes.
can I have a few more? I'm sorry, but I love strawberries.
You love strawberries?
Yes.
So, I wish they come on so I can get my farm going. I'm ready to plant something, boy, I'm telling you. I just find it's so therapeutic for your hands, you know what I'm saying? Get deep in the dirt. See, my church will tell you, all my churches will tell you that's around in Inkster, they see me get deep down in dirt, honey. I don't mind getting on the ground, and I was in the wheelchair, and I put myself on the ground, and I scoop, you know what I'm saying, and plant flowers and stuff. Even when I was on the job, all my coworkers will tell you, I planted all the flowers on the job. I was their gardener, their landscaper. Yep, I was their landscaper. Come on, man. They'll tell you I spoiled my clients. They say, well, you can't be doing that. I say, yeah, but they want one. I'll be sneaking into them. I get in trouble when I do that. But that's all right. They come on. But hand me your spoon, baby.
You're losing it. Come on.
Yeah.
He said we
They say, I call their guardians, and I say, hey, can they have this? And she said, yeah, you go on ahead and have it. So my I don't know if my family members is clients. I don't know if I'm supposed to be taking care of them. But state, no, I ain't no business. I ain't no group home business. I used to work for a group home, but they know I ain't no group home business. Here, baby. I had certifications. You know, I had certifications and stuff, but they know I wouldn't. You know, you got to pass the state board test to open up group homes and stuff. I mean, I'm certified in the system, but I got certifications and everything in DHS and in Lansing. Lansing got all my certificates. Yeah, Lansing got all my certificates, my food certificate, everything. Because you got to have food handling license to even have a business, like to sell food on the street. You got to have a food handling license. And with that license, you'll have it on your permit. You know what I'm saying? So your permit, when you go down to City Hall and get a permit, you got to have that food handling license. You know, if you're going to have a food truck. But, you know, and it's easy. You just go and take a class, you know, and they give you your certificate, and then it's stamped by the City Hall. I mean, it's stamped by the food administrator, FDA, and then the FDA, you know, it's licensed by the FDA, and then the FDA, then you go to City Hall and get your permit, and then City Hall will produce you a permit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much it is though. I think a yearly permit is I think it's $100 and something. Yearly permit. But you gotta get it stamped, because the FDA, they have to inspect. You need spoon? The FDA is gonna inspect your food. Here you go, baby. You got it. The FDA is going to inspect your food wherever department you is residing for your food. The FDA, it got to be a commercial kitchen. So you have to have a commercial kitchen to prepare your food, to sell your food. And they have to come in before you start selling your food. And they have to know where your food is being prepped at. So that's the FDA. And once they give you that sticker on your window, that means that you in business. You can prepare food there, and then you can go out there and sell it. They know where you selling your food. I mean, preparing your food. But yeah, these people be out here selling this food, and child, you don't know why you getting sick. You run into the emergency room, they be like, we don't have that listed. You know. So that's all I'm saying. You got to have this the seal of, you got to have a certification of food handling, and that got to be stamped by the FDA, and then the FDA is gonna give you a proof of a paper that you passed inspection for your commercial food handling license. And then you go to City Hall and you get you a permit. That's what you do. For open, it's a operational license permit to sell food.
I have one more
Think of, no, come on.
I'm so sorry. I just love them.
Okay.
They're so good.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
good.
We don't have it yet.
Why are you here? Are we in a video game?
Let it be a game. Let it be a game. Oh,
okay.
honey.
Here.
What did you say? Nothing. We should catch up to Vanessa.
So
Blasted you.
my shirt is dirty.
Okay.
So okay. See, that's I'm gonna wait a minute.